Hi guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a first impression and wear test on the DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I picked this up during the Sephora sale. I got mine in shade number 3. We're going to apply this together for the first time, and then I'm going to wear it throughout the day and do a few check-ins and show you guys how it wears, how it holds up, with a final review at the end of the day. So let's jump right in and get started with the video. This foundation is $49. It comes with 45 ml of product, which is much more than a typical foundation would come with, but in the ballpark for tinted moisturizers. It's vegan and fragrance free with a light coverage and a radiant finish. The hero products in the Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint are vegan collagen peptides, ceramides, and cactus extract, which is an antioxidant to help boost hydration and soothe the skin. I'm a big fan of peptides, so hopefully I enjoy this product. The thing that convinced me to buy this to try it out is that it has 714 reviews on Sephora and it is nearly 5 stars. Everybody seems to love this stuff, so I'm really excited to give it a go today. I prepped my skin the same way that I always do, and we are ready to start. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shake. It doesn't say that you have to, but just in case. And I think I'm gonna try applying this with my fingers. I typically apply tinted moisturizers with my fingers, so let's give this a go. I'm just gonna add a little bit to my cheek here and then blend. I had a really tough time picking out a shade. I was really worried that this one was going to be too yellow for me, but shade number 2 just looked way too light and shade number 4 way too dark. So I ended up here, and honestly the coverage is so light that I really don't think the super yellow undertone of this is really going to cause me any issues. My skin is also not in great condition. It's not in terrible condition either, but I do have a little breakout that's healing here and a few little like blackheads and whiteheads that are kind of poking through, so we can test out the coverage a little bit. Right off the bat, I can tell you it's extremely light coverage, but it's blending in really easily with my fingers, which is nice. It's really quick. So it really does feel just like skincare. It kind of feels like I just rubbed in an extra moisturizer on top of the skincare that I already put down. I like that it's a little squeezy tube. It makes it really easy to get the perfect amount of product that you need to come out. It actually has much less coverage than I was expecting. I knew it was a tinted moisturizer product, a serum skin tint, which literally screams super light coverage, but just from watching other people's reviews when they applied it, I felt like, yeah, I just felt like on other people's videos it added a lot more coverage to their skin than what I'm seeing here. The coverage is extremely light. I'd say it's just as the name explains, it's a tint more than anything. It's not really hiding any of my blemishes at all. All it's really done is just kind of even out my skin tone a little bit, which is kind of exactly what I'm looking for. For the last couple summers, I've been using the Laura Mercier Light Revealer tinted moisturizer. I'd say this product is super similar, like really similar. The only reason I picked up a new one was because I have this in too dark of a shade. But in terms of comparing the two, if you already have this one from Laura Mercier, you don't need this one. They are so similar. I'd say if anything, the Laura Mercier is a little bit more glowy, but hardly. My skin's looking really nice and glowy and hydrated. It really just looks straight up like my skin. It does not look at all like it has any product on it whatsoever. Everything is just kind of evened out a little bit. The redness and darkness from around my nose is really toned down, and everything's just kind of a nice, more even, natural canvas. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup, and then I'll show you what it looks like in natural lighting, although it's very dark here today, so as much natural lighting as we can get, and then I will wear it throughout the day and give you guys some updates on how I feel as the day goes on. All right, so it's 12:45. I had to take a little break from filming because Will had a meeting. Here is how the tinted moisturizer is looking in natural lighting with the rest of my makeup on. So I checked the time when I finished applying the tinted moisturizer and it was around 11:30. So we'll start our count from 11:30, which means we're just about an hour in, and I'd say nothing has really changed too much. I was kind of thinking about how I was comparing it to the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer before, and I would say that it's definitely less glowy than the Laura Mercier one. When I was first applying it and like feeling the texture of it and the amount of coverage that it had, that's what made me think of the Laura Mercier. But yeah, it's definitely not as dewy, which can be a pro or a con depending on what you're looking for in your tinted moisturizer. I feel like for most people, for every day, products that are too glowy can look like super oily by the end of the day, especially when it's as lightweight as a tinted moisturizer. So something like this might be better for someone who has more normal or oily skin. But yeah, we'll have to wear it for a little bit longer before I can say that for sure. I'm gonna come in and just show you how everything's looking. So I did use a little bit of concealer to build up coverage in a couple areas where I felt like the tinted moisturizer wasn't giving me enough. So I have a little bit down here, some on my forehead. I tried to go really light-handed with my powder, so I just used powder underneath my eyes and kind of through the center of my face and nowhere else, so we can kind of keep up with the, yeah, like how glowy it gets throughout the day. And I did add a little bit of highlighter just to the tops of my cheekbones, but nowhere else, so that, yeah, that doesn't interfere with testing how much glow we have. But yeah, I'd say for the most part, we're pretty much looking exactly the same as we were 1 hour ago when I first applied it. So I'll check back in with you guys in a couple of hours to see how it continues to wear. Let's do a check-in. It is just about 6 o'clock. I've had the makeup on for about 6.5 hours now, which I feel like is kind of the most you can really ask for from a tinted moisturizer. A couple of things that I've noticed while wearing it throughout the day. First of all, it feels extremely lightweight, which it is extremely lightweight, but it really feels like I don't have any makeup on my face, which is really nice. I've been finding in the last few years, as I've been wearing base makeup less, like since the pandemic pretty much, haven't really been wearing foundation or tinted moisturizer on a daily basis anymore, and so when I do wear it, I feel like I can notice it more on my skin, and I don't feel this at all. It just feels purely like I put skincare on. You can see it's quite glowy. My skin looks pretty oily at this point. I would definitely be ready to set it with a little bit of powder. Often with foundation and tinted moisturizers, I get a lot of creasing in my smile lines. This one is always worse than this one, and this one here is creasing a little bit, but this one isn't really creasing at all. So I'm gonna attribute that to how lightweight the product is, how skincare forward it is. It's not settling too bad into my lines there. But yeah, it is looking really, really oily. I'm gonna do a little close-up so that you guys can see how it's looking. I have normal skin. Sometimes it's dry, sometimes it's oily. My skin right now is actually very dry. I've been putting on hand cream all day because my hands have been like cracking and itchy. So the skin tint is definitely bringing the moisture, bringing the glow. I am just gonna take a little bit more of the powder that I used today, which is the Hourglass one, and just use that to kind of settle that down a bit. I can see it's kind of moving around on my upper lip here where the oil has just gotten out of control. And yeah, like it's not looking perfect. It's looking very similar to how it was when I first put it on. It's looking very natural. It's really just looking like skin, just a little bit glowier. It's really given the other products on my face something to grab onto. The bronzer is really holding in there very well. My highlight's really hanging on there really well too, so can't be mad about that. But yeah, I'll leave it for a couple more hours and we'll come in and do a final checkup before I wash it off. Hello, it's 7:45. I have finished my dinner. I'm having a glass of wine and I'm ready to wash my face and get into bed and read my book. So we're gonna take one last look at the makeup before we end this video. It's been on for, what is that, like over 8 hours. It's been on for over 8 hours at this point, which you really cannot ask for more than that from a tinted moisturizer. I feel like my expectations were like sky high for this. For some reason, I thought it was going to be like lightweight and skin-like, but with super high coverage. And those two things just don't really exist together. But just based on people's reviews and like the videos that I watched, I was like, oh my God, like this is going to be incredible. And like it's not amazing, guys. It's just, to me, it's just a regular tinted moisturizer. It does what I need it to do. It gives a tint to my skin. It makes my skin look juicy and glowy and yummy. But I don't know if it's any better than any of the tinted moisturizers that I usually use. My favorite one is the Charlotte Tilbury Unisex Healthy Glow, and I also really like the Laura Mercier one that I showed you guys earlier in this video. I mean, I don't really like that one either. It's just kind of whatever. It's just a tinted moisturizer, which I feel like this too. Like, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It just is a tinted moisturizer, and hopefully that's helpful. It's not really creasing anymore, but I can see it's really starting to break up, especially in the lower parts of my face, probably where I've been like resting on my hand or on a pillow or something. I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna use it all winter. I feel like it's a perfect product for me in the winter. I live in Canada. It's dry and cold. So for days where I just want a little bit of evening out of my skin, it's nice to add something that's like nice and glowy and has some moisture to it. And yeah, I'll give you guys one final close up. And I'm gonna call that the end of this video. I have lots of foundation wear test and first impression videos uploaded on my channel, so I'll link a couple of them down below if you wanna check them out. From what I can remember off the top of my head, I have 2 different tinted moisturizer and a bunch of different foundations. So if you're doing some foundation shopping, definitely check those out as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.